started getting taller and taller and taller until it started going into the kitchen and like we didn't have room for the coffee maker.
Really, this would have, I guess, been the dining room for us. So yeah, he got first dibs at where his lab would be.
Like if a friend came over and they saw that stuff and they were all like, what is this? And I was like, y'all don't have anything like this.
We have a fun little life. Lexi has autism. Katie just takes care of everybody. Missy keeps it all glued together. And our little family this is what we know.
South by Kyle Gibbins from the United States. Wonderful little documentary about this really charismatic individual with autism as he shows his passion for creating figurines and offering them to his neighbours and simply attracting such benevolence and compassion and love from all those around him. People on the autism spectrum, which is a very wide umbrella, can experience life in a very wide range of ways. One thing is almost for sure, they have a very unique way of seeing things and very often are very creative. That is why some people don't quite understand the way people with autism perceive the world, but to the advantage of the individual, they can have a potentially unintruded look into their own passion without necessarily being too bothered about what people think of them. So within this film, obviously South, with a very helpful and supportive family, is creating his pieces. He's modelling with clay these little figurines. Some of the figurines are very notable characters, maybe some are more inventions of his. Nevertheless, the collective is him telling stories to us as an audience and to the people close to him. You know, I love the fact that South is able to generate not only attention and love, but also friendship and the trust of people around him. South is definitely skilled, and some people appreciate things even if it's not their natural thing to appreciate because of the effort gone behind the scenes, and others can really see the magic in what is accomplished. And I think in this case it's more the magic in what is done, because South's skill is clearly high level and hopefully will be noticed by more high profile entities that might push his career further. But what is essentially created is a really sweet, compassionate story in which we see South develop. We see South gaining in that confidence and start to actually cater his creative skills and work for the interest of others, not just for his personal collections. And whenever you see someone who's branching out beyond their own personal vision into something that might be pleasing to others, that is where you really see how South himself has appreciated the fact that other people notice his skill, and he says, what can I do with it? I've got a skill, I can do this, what can I do with it? How can I please someone else with it? And that is the turning point that I find is very magical and very special. I love the fact that unlike in some cases, the family surrounding is a very warm family. It's a very supportive family. Not every person with autism or every creative person is appreciated by those closest to them. It's actually a very important thing to be appreciative, and that's what essentially nourishes the skill in anyone, especially someone like South. So I just found that very touching. What maybe I would have liked to have seen is South speaking for himself a little sooner in the film. I totally understand that as an artist's point of view, when you're lost in your own world, you tend to be more focused on actually accomplishing your vision than sharing it with other people. And obviously other people come in very useful when they ask questions and when they arouse that sense of curiosity and that conversation. But South is clearly not a non-verbal person, and therefore potentially having his voice heard a little bit sooner in the film might have implied to an audience and myself the range of his skill sets. not only the skill in his artistic creativity and vision, but also the skill set in being able to comment on his work and comment even on the opinions of others talking about him. That is a very minor point. I think the film structure works very nicely. I think it's captured in a very high quality way, and I really appreciated the journey that I enjoyed watching it as an audience. I commend any community for supporting the skills of people who have very direct focuses with their work, who maybe have high skill levels with creativity. There is stigma. There is always stigma, and potentially there always will be a degree of stigma out there, both for alternate abilities, but also for people who are very focused on creative paths in life. I think there's nothing wrong with that. I think it's just commendable. I think anyone who has something to showcase, some strengths, some innate strengths, should be rewarded and celebrated for those. Quite frankly, not everyone has to be intellectual in this world to succeed. So I really commend South for his efforts, for his wonderful works, for the differences he makes within his family and within his community, for the fact that he's able to actually cater his creativity for people, not just for himself, as some people do and I have done in my own past. And thank you to the whole team, the family and the team, for getting together to essentially tell this story so humbly, to help South and the communities further appreciate South and other people like South.